good health and happiness. With these words, I will come to my topic, which is given to me, the agricultural marketing institutions. So now this is the topic allotted to me, agricultural marketing institutions and their functions. Since last 3 days, this program is going on, and there were different topics discussed with the participants. But here in my presentation, I will exclusively go in for matters related to agricultural marketing, because most of the topics were earlier either agriculture or pre-harvest operations. But here I will specifically go for post-harvest operations, what are going on in agricultural marketing. We are all consumers and we need food. When we talk of food, then there are so many issues comes in. From where food will come? You need production. Production means soil. Soil requires inputs. Then so many issues, inputs, then who will handle it, how to operate in the field, good agricultural practices, then good harvesting practices, good marketing practices. So all the issues comes up. And then ultimately in value chain, ultimately with sale purchase of production in marketing chain, involving so many intermediaries doing different functions in agriculture marketing, and they are helping in dispersion and distribution of food products to the consumer. So with this background, I will just deal upon what is the position in our agricultural production side, why agricultural legislations are required, and agricultural legislations in India snapshot. I have given some item-wise legislations operated in our country and what is the basic objective, who is doing what. I will just go in 2 slides, the agricultural marketing system and issues in agricultural marketing in India, then institutional framework for agricultural marketing, what are the institutions, how it came up, what was the logic to bring the institutions for doing agricultural marketing services in the country, and what are the broad category of marketing institutions exclusively dealing with agricultural marketing, because there are so many institutions. And with this limited time, I may not be in a position to discuss all the institutions. So broadly, I have jotted down some institutions we are doing human service in agricultural marketing, and what are the important national level institutions, and then conclusions and suggestions. In agriculture production, we have done very good. Our food security is very good. 329 million horticultural production, your food production 308 million tons. This figure I have taken from Ministry of Agriculture Statistics 2021 figure. Milk we are also doing fine. Fish and marine we are doing good. But the question is, what is happening in post-harvest operations? Where we stand in handling the produce? Farmers are doing a lot of labor. So many people are involved. So many institutions are involved. But when we talk of post-harvest operation, there are losses, and that losses are very high. CFET under ICAR, Ludhiana, they have made a study. You must have heard about this study. About 92,000 crores worth good is wasted in food value chain. And this is nearly 2/3 of what it costs the government to feed 600 million poor under National Food Security System scheme operated in the country. About 1 million ton of onion vanish in the way to the market, as do 2.2 million tons of tomatoes. And over 5 million eggs crack or go bad due to lack of cold storage facility. So this study has given commodity-wise fraction of, you see details in terms of percentage. I have jotted down here that cereals it is varying loss 4.6 to 6.99%, pulses 6.36 to 8.41. Likewise, oil seeds 3.8 to 9.6, 9.96. But when we talk of perishables, it is very high, 4.58 to 15.88%. Fisheries, of course, it is less as compared to other commodities. Poultry 6.73 and meat 2.71. So this figure, when you see, then it is struck in our mind that what is happening in agricultural marketing, why it is so, why in post-harvest operations these losses are high. Before going into this, I will also share some of the issues about why agricultural legislations framed. Because, you know, to improve the well-being of farming community and to attain social equity and economic prosperity, legislations are needed to have some ethics, some code of conduct, so that the interest of both farmer as well as consumers are protected. And these are regulated. Different activities, different operations in the field are regulated through different legislations. And since independence, a series of amendments have been made to improve the legislations. And as science and art of agriculture advance, and new regulations are brought in, like your farm law recently they have bring about, you see, regulation of agricultural practices, agriculture marketing practices in addition to APMCs. And of course, legislations are changed according to international developments and requirements, treaties, etc. So in this context, the agricultural legislation are viewed as a revolutionary process based on experiences of the past, difficulties of the present, and better vision for the future. With these objectives, these legislations are being framed and implemented in the country for smooth operation and management of agricultural marketing practices. I have just collected and segregated the item-wise legislations. For land, there is different legislation: land tenure, land holdings, consolidation of land, etc. And these legislations are exclusively taken or looked after by state governments, because agriculture is a state subject. So it is under the domain of state governments. Legislation in input management, because if you grow crop means you need fertilizers, seeds. So for this also, for fertilizer control order, seed for seed and protection of plant varieties, and farmers' rights, pest and pesticides, plant quarantine, GMO, and agriculture biotechnology, soil, water, etc. So for these type of inputs, there are legislations looked after by different organizations. Then labor law, Minimum Wages Act, bonded labor, skill development of labor. So for labor, also there is different institutions looking after implementation of these acts. In agricultural marketing, I will exclusively talk with you that the main legislation in agriculture marketing is APMC Act. And why APMC Act was framed, there is a story behind it. I will talk with you in a different slide. Then Weights and Measure Act, Agricultural Produce Grading and Marking Act, then Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, that is brought in 2006 by amalgamating so many other acts into it. Actually, earlier it was PFA Act, but all acts and control orders and different milk and milk product order, etc., they were subsumed, and 8-9 orders were amalgamated and brought in by FSSI. Then Essential Commodity Act, and now recently the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. Then Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020. You can say contract farming. So these acts were brought in recently in agriculture marketing. Then legislation in livestock sector, livestock upgradation, contagious disease, cattle trespass, prevention of cruelty of animals, milk and milk products, fisheries, etc. Then the legislation on agriculture, credit and finance. Deccan Agriculture Relief Act 1879 was the old act to look after this finance and credit, money lending and takabi and government loans, etc. So all these issues were dealt, and it is being looked after by different institutions dealing with credit and finance. Then for cooperation, that cooperative act are there under this Multi-State Cooperative Society Act, then NCDC Act, CWC, RBI, RRB, etc. So there are so many cooperative institutions brought into operation in the country through different legislations and governed by different departments. That I will go in detail in next slide. At present, what is at the time of independence, what was the situation of our agricultural marketing? Usually at that time, production was very less. There was no organized marketing. Marketed surplus per farm was very low. And farmers were forced to sell their produce immediately after harvest due to interlocking of credits and commodity markets. Storage facilities were very less. Village storage, all primitive and traditional method of storage were there at that time. Then slow moving of transport to rural primary markets, hearts and sandies, by way of bullock carts and head loads and animal load carriage of produce to the markets. So these were the bottlenecks. Then loose carrying of produce. Whatever produce was coming in the market, it was in loose form. There was no proper packaging, which leads to so many damages or losses in the way. Then the produce coming to the markets were ungraded. There was no grading at farmers level. There was no producers level grading. Whatever produce was produced at the farm, that was brought in to the market or to the village sales in the farm as it is harvested there in the farm. Use of unstandard weights and measures. At that time, all mostly in tribal areas and in remote villages, barter systems were prevalent, and even weights of stone and standard weighing machine were not there. So a lot of exploitation was there in weighing of agricultural produce at that time. Then multiplicity of market charges. All traders and village merchants, they were charging exorbitantly from the producers. And unorganized farmers were not organized. That's why lot of exploitation were there. And with these type of deficiency, farmers were at very disadvantageous positions, and middlemen were reaping benefit at that time. So what happened? After independence, measures were taken by the government. At the time of even Britishers' time also, some steps were taken, and glaring example is Royal Commission during 1928. They gave recommendation that there should be orderly marketing, and for that there should be some institution to look after the management and functioning of markets in organized way. And that's why regulation of market practices came into existence, and APMCs were formed. The first APMC came into operation was Karanja in 1886, prior to Royal Commission, but afterwards, after recommendation of Royal Commission 28, they recommended that each and every state should come forward and create orderly marketing by way of developing agricultural produce market committee, and in that the representation of farmers and government representative should be there, and it should be on democratic way. Then the main idea of APMCs were that it should protect the interest of farmers by way of ensuring correct payment, prompt payment, and settlement of dispute, if any, in between the buyer and seller. Then these APMCs were given the responsibility of creation of infrastructure in the market so that market efficiency increases. You know, if infrastructure is not there, then quick disposal of produce in auctions cannot be done. Then promotion of farmers cooperatives were taken up, and provision of technology transfer was introduced both in agriculture as well as in agricultural marketing. And input supply support, including credit delivery, was taken into account by the government. And with this support, these measures helped in increasing the marketable surplus per farm. Then market charges either standardized or liability shifted to buyers. You know, as in APMC Act at present, as per APMC Act, there is provision that no market fee should be charged from the farmer. So farmer is not to pay the market fee, only purchaser will pay the market fee. Then market charges either is standardized or liability shifted to buyer. Then market information made available to farmers at ICT platform, as we are seeing now, because there is in present day your eAAMA and all is coming up for electronic trading. Then better storage facility and quicker transport became available. Tendency of village sales went down as compared to our pre-independence day period. Then MSP helped farmers in reducing price risks, and there has been a considerable increase in cooperatives and farmers groups. So these measures have helped in strengthening the bargaining power of farmers as well as development of different market infrastructure in the country. And simultaneously, so many institutions were involved to look after different agricultural marketing activities so that farmers are benefited in their sales transactions and ensured better remunerative prices. At present, what is the issue in agriculture marketing? You know, farmers suffer more in marketing their product than during the production process. You know, when farmer is engaged in production, there is no much problem. They are producing, they are increasing production. But when they are going for sale of their produce, they are facing a lot of problems. The problem is only because of infrastructure, form of storage, cold storage, logistics, credits, etc. Then nature of agricultural marketing laws. APMCs which were set up and recommended by different commissions to work for orderly marketing of agricultural produce, they have over a period of time become restrictive than facilitative. The glaring example I can quote here in short, that as per APMC Act, there is provision that commodity should be notified. So only notified commodity as per the law is to be traded in the mandi. Then there is a market area notified. Whosoever is coming into that market area, they should be licensed to sell and to purchase their product. So traders are bound to have multiple licenses because as per law, either taluk level or district level, notified areas are there in different states. And another problem is, if you want to have business in sales transaction of agricultural produce, if you want license from the state authority, you should have shops first, and then you can be given license to operate in the mandi. So this is all restrictive provisions. And moreover, whatever provisions are there, the motto of helping the farmers last over a period of time, because whosoever the market secretary in APMCs, they are giving target of generating revenue in the form of fee, and given target that this year you have to bring income up to this much crores from your mandi. So these are all now become a government controlled APMCs. Like you see, private trader, they are also government supported trader. They are not looking after proper enforcement of the provisions of the act, but they are unnecessarily making restrictions in the form of different provisions like notified area and these, that. So that's why this current market law was brought by the government to just have an option. This is all voluntary act, though it is in abeyance now because of Supreme Court judgment. Now it is not in operation for 2 years. But this is simply a voluntary law, and there is no need to have license. Simply you have to register and operate in the market. You can operate outside the market yard. There will not be any other authority to restrict you in sales transactions. Only the provision is that it will be implemented in the states who are giving single licenses or giving single market fee, single point levy of market fee and all that. So this is not a restrictive act, but this is a facilitative act to provide alternative channel to the farmer, so that they, any trader, if they want to procure their produce from village itself, they can visit there and collect their produce. Then institutional framework for marketing policy functions. Agriculture marketing system is characterized by a considerable degree of diversity and flexibility in arrangements between different commodities and regions. And you see, this system is operated freely by private enterprise. Around 2 million wholesalers and 5 million retailers are working in the country. That is, I have taken from the Farmers Commission report. And completely under state control, APMC Act is controlling all the trading operations of agricultural produce. And in between two extremes, there are systems with varying degree of government intervention in support of, in the area of price fixation, procurement quotas, buffer stocks, credit control, etc. Limited quantity is procured by the government agencies, and as per the recommendations and report of the Farmers Commission, around 80% trading is through private trade, and 10% is through institutional agencies, and 10% through your cooperatives and other channels. So these are policies of government are constantly reviewed and modified, seeing into the production pattern, marketing situations, and economic policy of the government. And with this system, over a period of time, various institutions have been established, both at the center and state level, for implementation of different programs of marketing in the country. Broad category of agriculture marketing institutions in India are, I have jotted down as per their activities and area of operation. Institutions aims at regulating the market conduct, structure, and hence the performance efficiency of market. Two things are there. One is regulation of primary agricultural markets, agricultural produce markets, that is the APMCs. Then legal and regulatory provision relating to storage, transportation, packaging, processing, buying, selling, and quality specifications. Whatever the service related functions are there in agricultural marketing. So in that, different departments, different organizations are working and their mandate are different, like State Agricultural Marketing Boards, Directorate of Marketing, Agriculture Produce Market Committee, Directorate of Marketing and Inspection, certain marketing organizations working since 1935. Then for buffer stock and PDS, Civil Supply Department, FSSI for quality control, AGMARC, Agricultural Quality Control, that is look after DMI, then Bureau of Indian Standards, central and state governments having different institutions for managing all sort of activities in this category. Then institutions aimed at providing and maintaining marketing infrastructure, development of marketing infrastructure. So there are excuse me, बाद में बात करेंगे मीटिंग में. Then this is physical and institutional infrastructure, APMC, State Agriculture Marketing Board, PWD, FCI, State Warehousing Corporation, Central Warehousing Corporation, National Horticulture Board, National Cooperative Development Corporation, etc. They are engaged in implementation of development of marketing infrastructure in the country. So different institutions, they are having their mandate to develop different types of marketing infrastructure in the country. And then institution involved in administered prices, procurement operations and all that. Then FCI is the main agency, NAFED, Cotton Corporation of India for cotton, Jute Corporation of India for jute, TriFed, tribal produce, minor tribal forest produce, they are looking after. Then Commission of Agriculture Cost and Prices, they are recommending the support prices, procurement prices. And then PDS, Public Distribution System, they are looking after the distribution of food products to the consumers. So like that, different institutions are involved as per their areas of activities. Institutions entering the market directly, like commission agents, traders, producers, consumers, cooperatives and processors, etc. And institutions influencing foreign trade for import and export. Main agency is APEDA, then foreign agency promoting their products, then MAPEDA for meat and marine products, they are looking after. So these are all the broader category of institutions as per the area and the activity related to agricultural marketing. They are looking after different activities. Broader framework, if you see here, that is public sector institutions, cooperative institutions, and formal and informal bodies. Three broader categories of institutions are there, and accordingly I have jotted down few important institutions like Directorate of Marketing Inspection, then NIAM at Jaipur, they are looking after development, training and project preparations and all that. Then Food Corporation of India, Cotton Corporation of India, Jute Corporation of India, National Center for Cold Chain Development, for cold chain development, cold storage, etc. Then Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Development Authority for export of agricultural commodities. Then commodity boards for tea, coffee, tobacco, spices, rubber, cardamom, areca nut, etc. These are all operating under Ministry of Commerce. Then State Trading Corporation of India Limited. Commodity Development Directorates are also there in the country for development of a specific commodity that I will discuss in detail later. Then Small Farmers Agri-Business Consortium, SFAC, National Horticulture Board for perishables. Then Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India for framing standards, looking after safety and quality of produce. Then National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, NIFTEM, they are providing training programs. These are all the bodies of private sector, CII, FICCI, etc. They have recommended to have such institution through them to impart training in management and improving food technology entrepreneurship in the country. Then state agricultural marketing boards and directorate of marketing, they are looking after the development of marketing infrastructure, regulation of agricultural produce markets. Then Council of State Agricultural Marketing Boards, there is an association of state agriculture marketing boards who are looking after the development and preparation of project proposals and orderly marketing of agricultural produce in the country. Then Department of Food, Civil Supplies and Consumer Affairs in the ministry, both at central and state, they are looking after maintenance of buffer stocks, supply through PDS, etc. Consumer Affairs related matter. And then Indian Institute of Packaging looking after development of packaging material for different agricultural produce as per the need, providing in training. Then Export Inspection Council and Bureau of Indian Standards, they are looking after the export and maintenance of quality of different agricultural produce before export. Then NERAMEC, HPMC, CWC, SWC and WDRA, they are all few public sector institutions. They are looking after in storage, cold storage, then your development of marketing in northeastern region. So I will go in detail in different slides. Then cooperative institutions, that is primary, central and state level marketing societies, unions, federations are working. Then special commodity marketing societies are also functioning like sugarcane, cotton, milk, etc. Then processing societies, that is cotton processing and ginning societies, oil processing societies, fruit and vegetable preservation societies, sugarcane crushing societies, milk processing and chilling societies, etc. are in operation in the country. Then National Cooperative Union of India, at national level, they are promoting cooperation in the country, development of cooperative societies, etc., having international cooperation into cooperation activities. Then National Cooperative Development Corporation, they are also engaged in different activity related to development of storage and cold storage and other programs of the Government of India. The National Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Federation of India Limited, NAFED, they are also looking after the price intervention scheme of government and even procurement, and they are canalizing agency of export of onion and potatoes. Then Tribal Cooperative Marketing Federation, TriFed, looking after minor forest produce, how to maintain and how to protect the interest of tribal farmers. Formal and informal bodies, you see, Panchayat Raj institutions, they are now being given 73rd Amendment. They have given powers to these Panchayat Raj institutions to even manage and develop your primary rural markets, that is hearts and sandies. And through them, they can even develop marketing infrastructure in such markets, because primary rural markets are focal point for the small and marginal farmers, because immediately the small farmers are visiting these markets. And in this budget, government has provided 2,000 crores to NABARD for development of grams huts, gram bazaar, and link these bazaars should be linked with ENAM, electronic market, which are now running in the country since April 16. So they are also doing good work, and their activities are being made broad-based. Then self-help groups are also working in the field of agricultural marketing. Producers, companies are coming to help the members of producers who are member in the company, producer companies. Then farmer producers organizations are coming, farmers cooperatives are coming, farmers interest groups are also involved in agriculture marketing, and of course non-government organizations, NGOs are also working in some commodities in the country. So these are all broader classification I have given here. Now I will go in detail the institution-wise activity they are performing in the country. You see, the Directorate of Marketing Inspection, DMI, This is previously known as Central Marketing Department. It was set up in 1935 on the recommendations of Royal Commission. That commission recommended that there should be a central body who can look after the orderly development of agricultural marketing in the country and guide the states in framing different acts, rules related to agricultural marketing and other activities performed for the improvement of agricultural marketing. So the main objective was to guide states, union territories on reforms, bringing market reforms in agricultural marketing regulations, and for development and management of agricultural produce markets. This DMI was providing financial assistance also to state marketing boards and departments for development of different marketing infrastructure like auction platforms, storage facilities, then grading facilities like that. So they are providing still that is being provided in the form of integrated scheme of agricultural marketing in infrastructure development, then implementation of Gramin Bhandaran Yojana, then market for information, they are implementing EggMark Net, that is marine, and strengthening of EggMark grading facilities, SAGF. And, because since this department is implementing Agricultural Produce Grading and Marking Act 1937, and the quality insignia of under this act is EggMark. You must have heard the name of EggMark. So many edible oils, spices, honey, and other agricultural produce in the raw farm is also graded under EggMark. So since they are implementing this, so they are busy in framing EggMark standards and implementation of grading programs in different states in association with state governments. So, and they are having a chain of EggMark laboratories across the states to implement this internal grading of this different commodity under EggMark. Prior to 90, when liberalization was not there, 41 agricultural commodities were compulsorily graded and inspected under this act before export. Since 1990, now the quality maintenance and responsibility have been shifted to the star trading houses, star export houses, to maintain their quality as per the requirement of buyer. So for export purpose, they are not compulsorily graded under EggMark, but the buyer, international buyer, if they insist that there should be third-party guarantee of quality, they can approach the DMI for grading of agricultural produce which are coming under EggMark for certification. Then apart from that, this department is doing marketing extension, including EggMark Net portal, running EggMark Net portal, eNAM. They are providing funds to state government for setting up of eNAM portal there, and around 70 lakhs are provided per market. The market committee or state government is to prepare the project proposal, and there is a committee, they are approving the proposals, and these EggMark Net portals are run in different APMCs. Around 1000 eNAM portals are running in the country. And then training of personnel agriculture marketing. There is 6 months diploma course in agricultural marketing, and there is a market secretary training course of 3 months duration that is run at 2 centers, Lucknow and Hyderabad, for Mandi secretaries. Apart from that, there are so many short duration courses like graders course, grading assessors course, then extension, market-led extension course of 2 weeks duration they are running at Nagpur. So they are all DMI is imparting, and apart from this, they are doing some commodity survey and investigation. So that is their main role in agriculture marketing. Then NIAM, it was set up in August 1988. Mandate was for specialized training, research, education, and consultancy in agriculture marketing to cater to the needs of agriculture marketing personnel in India as well as from Southeast Asian countries. And they are helping in developing bankable projects for creation of market infrastructure and integrated value chains, conduct research on long-term projects, even offer consultancy services to states and central departments, public sector undertakings, cooperatives. And they are helping state governments to generate self-employment for educated youth by exploiting local potential resources, and offers 2-year postgraduate diploma course in agri-business management duly approved by AICTE. Like Manage, they are also doing PGDM course of 2 years duration. So they are at Jaipur. Small Farmers Agri-Business Consortium, SFAC, this organization was set up in 1994 with an objective to support the new venture in agro-based industry. It is facilitating setting up of agri-business ventures in close association with all banks, financial institutions notified by the Reserve Bank of India. And they are catalyzing private investment in setting up of agri-business projects, provide assured markets to producers for increasing rural income and employment. They are also managing e-NAM portal and strengthening backward linkages of agri-business projects with producers. They are assisting farmers, producers, group and agricultural graduates to enhance their participation in value chain through project development facility. And they are arranging training and visits, etc. of agripreneurs in setting up of identified agri-business projects and augmenting, strengthening existing setup of states and central SFACs. So, and apart from that, they are in the process of development of farmer producer organizations. They are also helping farmer development of this association of farmers so that their bargaining capacity is increased in the sales transactions of their produce. So government has also given emphasis on development and strengthening the farmers' hand by making them associated in the form of FPOs. And for this, SFAC is doing this work apart from NABARD. Then Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices, APC was set up in 1965. Earlier it was Agricultural Prices Commission, and now the TOR of this commission is broad-based, and since 1980, its nomenclature was changed to Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. The main objective of this commission is to recommend minimum support prices, to incentivize the cultivators to adopt modern technology and raise productivity. And the CACP recommends MSP for 23 commodities, which comprise of 7 cereals, 5 pulses, 7 oilseeds, and 4 commercial crops. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs of the Union Government takes a final decision on the level of MSP and other recommendations made by the CACP. And CACP puts all its reports on website for various stakeholders to see the rationale behind CACP's price and non-price recommendations. So you can go on this website and see how the prices, you see, are decided, and before recommendations, what are the criteria followed in this. So this is the broader mandate of this commission. Then Agricultural and Processed Food Export Development Authority, their main objective is to enhance export of agricultural commodities from India. This APEDA was established under Ministry of Commerce in 1986, and the Act, Agricultural and Processed Food Product Export Development Authority Act 1985. Under this, they are operating. Main objective is to maximize foreign exchange, enhance agro exports, provide higher income to farmers through higher unit value realization, provide employment opportunities in rural areas by encouraging value-added export of farm products, and they are providing financial assistance in improving post-harvest facility to boost their export. And APEDA has brought qualitative changes in agriculture marketing system and credentials in agribusiness in the products like export of grapes and mango from Maharashtra, Mahagrape, Mahamango, you must have heard the name. Then Karnataka, strawberry, mushrooms from Punjab, Haryana, lychee from AP, UP and Bihar. So they are doing a very good work in the field of export and import of agricultural commodities. And they are maintaining a database of Indian exporters and publishing a quarterly journal, Apex Update, regularly. And they have their headquarters at New Delhi and 12 regional offices. So you can visit this portal and see in detail their activities in the field of agricultural exports. Food Corporation of India, I must not say much on this because you know the operation of FCI, they are operating since 1965 under Corporation Act 1964. It was set up, and they are looking after the price support operations for safeguarding the interest of farmers and distribution of food grains through the country in public distribution system. They are maintaining buffer stocks, go downs, etc. And they are maintaining level of operational buffer stocks for food grains to ensure national food security, providing remunerative prices to the farmers, and they are making available at reasonable prices the food products to the vulnerable section of society, and they are intervening in market of price stabilization. They have total storage capacity of 81.79 million tons, in which FCI is having 41.47 and other agencies 40.2 as on April 21. So they are looking after procurement and distribution of food products through them under price support operations scheme. Then Cotton Corporation of India, they are exclusively set up for looking after the development and procurement operations of cotton. Since 1970, they are in operation, working under the Ministry of Textile, Government of India. And under Companies Act 1956, they are set up and entered in domestic market during 71-72. As usual, as I told you, conducts price support operations in raw cotton and then handle imports, purchasing domestic raw cotton to safeguard the interest of growers and consumers. During 2020, they purchased 90.89 lakhs bales of cotton from farmers, and they are providing necessary marketing support to cotton growers in selling their kapas at most competitive prices in all cotton growing states through timely intervention beginning from the day one of kapas arrivals till the end of the season. And their operation is spread over 400 cotton procurement centers in the country. So exclusively they are in cotton procurement operations. Jute Corporation, as usual, like Cotton Corporation, they are in operation since 1971. Price support to farmers, and they ensure jute growers reasonable price of their produce and save them from exploitation from middlemen. And the technology mission, jute technology mission, they are looking after the development of jute sector. Ministry of Textile has nominated JCI as a nodal agency for implementation of Mini Mission 3 under overall guidance and supervision of Jute Commissioner. And in Mini Mission 3, they are ensuring efficient market linkages and value addition of raw jute through upgradation of the existing market infrastructure and facilities to be provided to the farmers. So they are in jute business, helping farmers for proper marketing of their jute in the market at competitive price. Around 1.77 lakh quintals of raw jute procured under commercial operation during 1920. This is the data available with me. Naramek, of course, this is also a corporation set up in 1982 to develop the marketing facility in northeastern region, especially in horticultural produce. They are providing inputs, tools, equipment, etc. And they are even purchasing, procuring the produce from the producers of the region. Even they are engaged in processed products. They are having plant processing plants. They are even using processed products dispersal in the market, and they are promoting and aiding export of horticultural produce, equipments also, and import of raw and finished horticultural produce and equipment in furtherance of the company's business. So they are having diversified activities, and recently they have been given emphasis to enter into different area of operations by the government. This corporation, Himachal Pradesh Horticulture and Marketing Corporation, was set up in 74. Like that, in J&K also, JK HPMC is there. They are simply looking after the development and marketing of perishable fruits and fruits from the region, and they are providing entire post-harvest handling of horticultural produce in the state. They are modernizing it in the form of storage, handling, etc. Even distribution of products. They are having processing plant also. They are providing apple juices, and they have different around 400 selling booths spread all over the country. So they are entering into procurement and distribution of apple from Himachal. Even in mushrooms also they are doing some work, and they are providing apple juice concentrates, etc. So they are helping farmers in marketing of horticultural produce from the region. Now I will talk about commodity boards under Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. There are different boards in operation, and these commodity boards are producer-oriented organization, and that broad range of functions they are doing. That is production, processing, and marketing of crop. They are mainly confined in plantation and commercial crops, and they are promoting trade both in internal and external of specific commodities. And each board deals with a specific or group of commodities in the country. So I have jotted down in brief because there are so many boards. Coffee board, since 1942, production, maintaining quality, export promotion, achieving higher value returns for Indian coffee, and supporting development of domestic market. So under Coffee Act, they are in operation since 1942. Rubber board since 1947. Under Rubber Act, they are doing conducting research and training programs, production, marketing, extension services, and welfare of plantation workers. So they are in rubber commodity. Then tea board, they are in operation since 1953, regulating tea cultivation, export of tea, and promotion of tea for consumption, etc. Tobacco board, 1976. They are regulated in marketing Virginia tobacco, ensuring remunerative prices to growers by direct purchase, set up auction platforms, and scientific research and grading. Then commodity, this Coconut Development Board, under Coconut Development Board Act 1979, they came into existence in 81 to develop coconut industry, imparting technical advice, provide financial and other assistance. So they are in development of coconut industry in the country. Then NOVOT, that is National Oilseeds and Vegetable Oil Development Board. They are in operation since 1984. They are implementing programs for integrated development of tea-borne oil seeds like sal, mahua, neem, samaruba, karanja, jatropha, jojoba, chora, wild apricot, walnut, and tongue, etc. And they are enhancing their production, and they are augmenting future potential, so that this these type of oils are even used apart from consumption in this. Now for use in petrol also, these tea-borne oils are being considered by the government. So they are in this development of tea-borne oil seeds in the country. National Horticulture Board registered under Society Act 1860, and they are in operations in 1984, for development of horticulture industry, promoting grower societies, providing assistance for development of marketing infrastructure, even for cold storage. They are running market information scheme from 36 centers in the country, and they are providing arrival and prices information of different horticultural produce at their portal on regular basis. Spices Board, they are in operations in 1986, responsible for export promotion of scheduled spices and its development in production and all that. NDDB, you know much better, they are looking after in dairy sector, increasing milk production and developing milk and its product. They are having very good network of distribution and procurement of dairy products in the country. State Trading Corporation, it is registered as an autonomous company under the Company Act 1956. And it is under Ministry of Commerce. They are in international trade for over 6 decades, and till 1990, bulk of agro products such as rice, wheat, castor oil, sugar, edible oils were exported through them. And to meet the challenge posed by liberalization and globalization of trade, STC diversified their new areas in bullion trade, hydrocarbons, metal, minerals, ore, fertilizers, petrochemicals, and they undertook price support operations to ensure remunerative prices to growers for their crops such as raw jute, shellac, tobacco, rubber, and vanilla. But recently, STC has stopped undertaking any new business activity and currently continuing as a non-operative company for the time being. So, seeing the development of other institutions, their role is now, presently they are not active as earlier they were working. Then commodity development directorates like for Ericanet and spice development, they were set up in 1966 in the Ministry of Agriculture for development of spices. Large group of aromatic plants, betel wine, Ericanet grown in the country, and monitoring implementation of central sector centrally sponsored schemes and coordinating the developmental activities. And they are even doing research and extension services, and in transfer of technology also they are doing two-way channel action for development of spices and this betel wine, etc. Directorate of Cashew Nut Development, it was set up in 66 under the Ministry of Agriculture for development of cashew in a more scientific manner, and exploiting the wasteland for development of cashew in public and private sector land, assisting in improving the marketing of the commodity, and maintaining close liaison with the states and central institutions in development of cashew marketing in the country. Central Warehousing Corporation, they are engaged in providing storage facility since 1962 under Warehousing Corporation Act. Objective is to create scientific and reliable storage facilities of agricultural light commodities, and they are an agent of government for sale, purchase, storage, and distribution of commodities. They are operating under custom bonded warehouses, mostly in a number of centers. And CWC has created warehouses at all India level, whereas SWC are established storage for a similar function in important markets and towns of the state. So this is the main difference. They are having custom bonded warehouses and working from Central Warehousing Corporation and State Warehousing Corporation. They are developing in different storage infrastructure in states and town. CWC is operating 415 warehouses. The data is of 19 December, and they have 101.44 lakh metric ton storage capacity, whereas SWC is having 2055 warehouses with a total storage capacity of 354.85 lakh metric ton. So they are exclusively in storage of different agricultural commodities. This authority came into existence, Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority, during 2010. The mission is to regulate and ensure implementation of provisions of Warehousing Development and Regulation Act 2007. They are regulating the development of warehouses and more scientific way for setting up and its operation, so that the goods stored in warehouses may not be damaged. So they are providing scientific storage and they are controlling and regulating it. And you see, regulation of negotiability of warehouse receipts, they are also looking after this, that if goods is hypothecated, that storage receipts should be negotiable like a check. So that is also being implemented under this act. And promotion of orderly growth of warehousing business in the country, they are looking after development and regulation of different warehouses running in the country. National Cooperative Union of India, you know, as I told you earlier, that this NCUI was set up in 1961, and the main objective was that to organize cooperative education and training programs and popularize the principles and practices of cooperation. Conduct, collaborate, and assist in carrying out research, investigation of cooperative problems and formulating of projects for cooperative development. And they are promoting international cooperative relations through active collaboration with International Cooperative Alliance, ICA, UNO, FAO, ILO, UNDP, UNIDO, and other international agencies involved in cooperative development. So to promote international marketing on cooperative to cooperative basis by documenting necessary information, provide consultancy services to the cooperatives. At present, there are 242 institutions which are members of NCUI. So the 242 institutions are members of NCUI. They are engaged in cooperative development in the country. And NAFED, you know better, they are also one of the procuring agency. They are operating since 1958 under Multi-State Cooperative Society Act. They are making arrangements for supply of agricultural input required by the member institutions, promote interstate and international trade in agriculture and other commodities, sale, purchase, and storage and distribution of products and inputs in the country. They are even marketing processed foods and eggs, price support operation for pulses and oilseeds as an agency of the government. They have set up storage units for storing various commodities and goods by itself or in collaboration with other agencies in India and abroad. And they are having processing units for processing of agricultural and horticultural forest produce, wool and allied products. And they are even selling the products through their outlets. National Horticulture Research and Development Foundation, NHRDF, that is established by NAFED, and they are operating since 1977. They are mainly involved in development of, you see, perishable like onions, garlic, etc. And they are providing sufficient quantity of these products to boost the domestic requirement, export of onion, and such oriented horticultural crops. They have 5 regional research stations, laboratories, and different, you see, 20 extension centers spread all over the major onion and garlic growing pockets of the country. They have established one Krishi Vigyan Kendra at Ujwa in New Delhi to cater the needs of farmers of the state. So they are exclusively engaged in development of perishable commodities like onion, garlic, potatoes, etc. And they are maintaining database of, arrival and prices. You can visit their portal and see the price trend and all that. TriFed, it was established in 1987 to develop the system of marketing of forest produce by tribal under Multi-State Cooperative Society Act 1984. They are arranging marketing and export of minor forest produce produced by the tribals in tribal dominated area, and they are protecting the tribals from traders exploitation, and because they have small marketable surplus, they are exploiting, so they are procuring their produce and safeguarding by providing them remunerative prices. They are even providing training to the tribal and developing self-help groups to enhance their bargaining power. And there are 120 brick and mortar tribes in India outlet across the country, making it sustainable and reliable brand, and exploring and creating opportunity to market and develop products in national and international markets on a sustainable basis. Because you see, so many other tribal produce are very costly. And I have seen in Rajasthan, some Banswara district, tribals, even in tribal area, barter systems are prevalent still, and they are exploiting. They are giving some daily necessity product, like you see salt or some other product of their necessity, and they are procuring, pulses, etc. from them. So like that, this TriFed is entering into this, like NAFED and other agencies, procuring agencies, and protecting the tribal farmers from exploitation. NCDC was established under the Act of Parliament 1966 as a statutory corporation under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The main motto of this corporation is to promote farmers cooperative in marketing, processing, and storage of agricultural produce, supply agricultural inputs, essential consumer goods in rural areas. They are also entering into poultry, fishery, handloom, and minor forest products, and providing financial assistance to cooperative societies, establishing cold storage and processing activities. And recently in July 21, there is a separate Ministry of Cooperation. This activity made broad-based, and our Home Minister is Minister of this ministry. So their operation area of operation have been made broad-based, and apart from this development of different types of cooperatives, their financial base is expanded, and they will even be able to finance projects in rural industrial cooperative sectors and certain notified services in rural areas like water conservation, irrigation, micro irrigation, agri insurance, agro credit, rural sanitation, animal health, etc. So their area of operation is made broad-based. So they are having activities especially in the field of development of cooperative marketing in the country. Then NCCF was established in 1965 under Multi-State Cooperative Society Act 2002. And this is the apex body of consumer cooperative societies in the country, providing technical assistance, guidance to member institutions in grading, packing, standardization, bulk buying, storage, pricing, account keeping, other business techniques. And even they are arranging members for proper training in collaboration with NCUI So they are also working in a different area for development of cooperative marketing in the country. Export Inspection Council of India, the set up under Government of India under the Section 3 of Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1963 in order to ensure sound development of export trade of India through quality control and inspection and matter connected thereof. This is an advisory body to central government empowered under the Act to notify commodity which will be subject to quality control and inspection prior to export. So they are implementing compulsory quality control programs of the country, especially which are being exported under Export Quality Control and Inspection Act 1963. DMI was also one of the agency in this, but since 1990, due to liberalization, the activity of export was liberalized, and that quality aspect was shifted to the star trading houses, export trading houses. So only this EIC now looks after as and when a requirement is there by the importer. And they are also exercising technical and administrative control over 5 export inspection agencies. One is at Chennai, Delhi, Kochi, Kolkata, Mumbai, established by the Ministry of Commerce. And they are implementing various measures and policies formulated by the Export Inspection Council of India. So they are working in the field of export and export promotion. Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, it was established under the Food Safety and Standard Act 2006, which consolidates various acts and orders that have hitherto handled food-related issues in various ministries and departments that I have already told you. That so many, 8 or 10 acts and orders were subsumed in this. And now in place of PFA, this SSI is a mandatory standard. Below their standard, no food item will be sold in the market. So they are providing science-based standards for articles of food and regulating manufacturing, storage, distribution, and sale and import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption. They are not only providing quality food, but they are also looking after safety parameters. So there should not be any contamination, aflatoxin contamination or some microbial contamination. So they are looking after the safety issues also. And they are framing regulations to lay down standards and guidelines in relation to articles of food and specifying appropriate system of enforcing various standards notified. And they are laying down mechanism and guidelines for accreditation and certification bodies, laying down procedure and guidelines for accreditation of laboratories and notification of the accredited laboratories, providing training programs of persons who are involved and are intended to get involved in food business. So they are the Food and Safety Authority looking after the regulation and maintenance of standards of different food items in the country. Bureau of Indian Standards, this body was set up in 1947, and in 1986, this came into existence under Bureau of Indian Standard Act. Main activity of Bureau is to standard formulation, certification, product hallmarking and systems, foreign manufacturers scheme, registration scheme, training and calibration scheme. A roadmap has been prepared for harmonization of Indian standards with Hague Mark, and they are national body for standardization, and they are integrating all the standards, harmonizing them with international standards, and they are even looking after the growth and development of production and export of different agricultural as well as industrial products. Indian Institute of Packaging, it was established in 1966, and headquarters is at Mumbai. and branches are at Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, and Hyderabad. They are promoting export market by way of innovative package design, development, as well as to upgrade overall standards of packaging in the country. And they are testing and evaluation of packaging materials, packages, consultancy services, and research and development related to packaging. So they are looking after all packaging related issues for agricultural commodities, as well as other packaging material. So they are actually in packaging development practices. So he started 2 years full-time postgraduate diploma in packaging in year 85 in Mumbai, 2000 in Delhi, and 2010 in Kolkata, 2011 in Hyderabad. They are running postgraduate diploma in packaging course, and one most popular program, PGDP, is run to them, and they are providing customized training program on packaging for SMEG section. They are making focal point for contemporary development of art, science, technology, and engineering in the field of packaging. So they are exclusively looking after the development of packaging material in the country. Food Technology and Entrepreneurship Management Institute, they came into existence in 2012 under the Ministry of Food Processing Industries. And earlier it was under Companies Act. Later the status was converted as registered as the Autonomous Institute under Society Registration Act 1860. So this major objective of NITEN is that to work as one stop solution provider to all problems of the processing industry sector, work for skill development, entrepreneurship development, facilitates business incubation services, conduct frontier area research and foster innovation for development of sector, develop world-class managerial talent coupled with advanced knowledge in food science and technology, function as knowledge repository on various aspects of food processing such as product information, product processing technology, market trends, safety, quality standards, management practices, among others, and working for upgradation of SME food processing clusters, provide intellectual backing for regulation, growing food quality and safety, and to promote cooperation and networking among existing institutions within India and abroad. So they are looking after the development of this food technology country. National Center for Cold Chain Development. This YNCCD was registered as society under the registration of society at 1860, and they came into existence on February 12. Main objective of center is to recommend standards for and protocol for cold chain infrastructure, suggest guideline for human resource development, and to recommend appropriate policy framework for development of cold chain. Then it has representation of stakeholders such as government departments, various ministries responsible for implementation of schemes related to cold chain industry, association, CII, FICCI, service providers, export organizations, growers association, etc. So they are looking after the development of cold chain in the country. State Agriculture Marketing Board, as I have already told you, they are looking after the establishment of APMCs. They are looking after the regulation and management of APMCs, development of infrastructure. There are around in 21 states SAMBs are working. 12 states have SAMB and TUM both, and there are considerable variations in setup of these boards. That is the main problem. So in some states, even marketing boards are statutory, some are advisory. So their area of operation, their working styles are varying. So that is a problem in this. There should be uniform development of this. And then board has a fixed number of chairmen of APMC, traders, nominee official nominated by government, and agricultural marketing advisor is also a member of board. Main function is that to advise government on functioning of APMCs and improvement in agriculture marketing, framing bylaws, help in functioning of APMCs, create market infrastructure, and carry out training of officers and conduct research connected with improvement of agricultural marketing in the country in different agricultural commodities. This is an association of boards. They are providing central assistance and addressing the problem of state agriculture marketing board related to agricultural marketing. Panchayat Raj institutions, as I have told you, they are also looking after, you see, status of self-governance. They have under the 73rd Amendment, they have what the status of self-government. Panchayats are appropriate body to undertake various marketing activities in rural areas for benefit of farmers, that is development of rural markets. They can have they can train the producers in grading of produce at farm level. Link roads construction, they can look after construction of farm and village level storage structures, marketing extension, consumer education and market intelligence. In these areas, they can very effectively help the farmers for improving their marketing of produce at remunerative prices. With these few words, I conclude to my presentation. This various legislations enforced in the country is well thought of in enactment, and they are being continuously amended and changed according to the requirement of states as well as the commodity. But spirit of healthy and effective enforcement is necessary because, you know, quite often we are criticizing APMC Act, but the spirit of APMC coming was good because the main motto was that how to ensure the correct payment, prompt payment, and settle the dispute in between seller and purchaser when it comes in the sales transactions. That spirit was good, but over a period of time that was changed to only revenue generation. That's why here I want to say that proper enforcement of provisions of Act should be there, and their working strength, administrative and institutional arrangements for executing government policy function more effectively should be initiated. Owing to liberalization and globalization and privatization initiatives, there is a need to review the role as well as rationale of many components of agricultural marketing institutional framework involved over the years, because some have become obsolete, some are necessary. So seeing the requirement and necessity, their role and their actions should be reviewed and implemented accordingly. Farmers' organizations, of course, need to be promoted to enhance the bargaining power of farmer producer, transaction of their agricultural produce, and there should be a wider publicity and extension on functioning of marketing institutions, so that the benefit is reaped by all the stakeholders involved in the agricultural marketing chain. And with these few words, I will stop here because I think my time is over. Now we can discuss if any question is there, we can.
Good morning, Rai sir. This is Manish Mulani. Thank you so much for such a detailed information. I'm really surprised to know that we have so many institutions in India. Thank you so much. Rai sir, I have a question.
Apart from these, there are so many other also.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question that we have so many institutions, but I see that there is no institution which is monitoring primary agricultural produce to ensure that whatever getting sold in the market or being purchased by the consumer is safe. Sir, how do we, why there is not, and how do we ensure that, is there any steps for the government to monitor the primary agricultural produce?
No, I tell you, primary agricultural produce, that is the main problem. First of all, I must say, you are referring to the safe food or raw material, primary raw material?
Sir,
I'm not getting your point. You are referring to the food quality or primary produce which is coming in the market?
primary produce that is coming in the market.
Okay, okay. That is the major problem, I tell you. You have raised a very good question. Two things are here to be remembered before we discuss anything. Farmer, whatever he produces, he thinks that all my produce should be sold in the market by way of by hook or crook. They are not bothered about maintaining the quality. What he is doing, he is simply sorting the produce. There is no standard followed. There is no standardization. There is no grading at producers level. That is the major problem in our country. Second part is farmer produces by putting his hard labor, money and all that, he is producing to his level best. Our scientists, our agricultural scientists, they are supporting them. Our productivity is also increasing day by day. Only the problem is they have no patience. If you say one farmer that whatever you have produced, you sort it or grade it as per the available standard and bring to the market. He has no patience. He collects all the produce from the farm. Even I have seen in Azadpur, Asia's biggest market in Delhi, cauliflower, cabbage and all that, they are brought in open trolleys of tractors by making heaps, and even 2 or 3 laborers are sitting on the heap to unload the produce in the market. Now you can imagine the perishable produce for which we are paying as a consumer for that, and farmer wants that I should get remunerative prices. Two things happens in the market. As soon as it reaches in the mandi, he is paying all tire weight charges to the transporter. He is unloading it there. Trader, he is purchasing by removing leaves, whatever leaves are there with the cauliflower. So that is generating lot of garbages in the mandis. Now you can imagine the condition of produce and the type and the time, how many times it is handled. Laborer, weighing person, then again loading, unloading, going to the auction platform, and then after that bidding. And when it rains, you can see the pathetic condition of vegetable market. Another headache for enforcement agencies in APMC to remove the garbages, and all is going to the cost of farmer. Nobody, trader is not paying from his pocket. Whatever he is paying, he is deducting from the sales proceeds of that transaction from the farmer in the form of different items. So this is the major problem. We must educate them. We must advise them that you have produced with lot of labor this much good quality. Why not to sell it in a staggered form with different quality standards? And the market authorities should ensure that whatever graded produce is coming in the market, auctions should be there based on grades, not rational, as traders are exploiting there. Sir, I tell you why lot of halla bulla is going on in farmula. Farmer is not there. Behind, traders are just instigating them because they are thinking that our marketing activities will be less when this different channel is opened. Government intention is that no, we will not kill you. We will not abolish the mandis because a lot of money has been invested. Even central fund, state funds, public exchequer money, our tax has gone in that development of infrastructure. And if you abolish these mandis, see the glaring example of Bihar. Since September 2006, Mandi Act was abolished by the Nitish Kumar government. What happened there? All pathetic condition. Nobody is looking after marketing operations. All exploitation by the traders, commission agents, and whatever infrastructures were developed. One time was there that Bihar Agriculture Marketing Board was very, very powerful in implementation of the provisions of the act, and they were leader. But now, since that act gone, nobody is there. One SDM is in charge. He is not bothered. Now, whatever infrastructure has been created, that is depleted, and farmers is suffering. So you are right. Maintaining the quality when we are WTO signatory, when we are seeing the international market, first and foremost important thing is that our farmers should be educated on quality aspect. And he should be educated to devote some time towards his produce in the market. He wants that somebody should take responsibility of selling, and he must sell my produce and give me money. Suppose if I am looking after his sales transactions, I will charge money. I will not give free service there. So that is the biggest problem there with the farmer. I can put one glaring example of Delhi Mandi, that Delhi Marketing Board. In Chhatarpur, they opened one farmers market, and they told the farmers, local farmers, you come to sell your produce directly to the consumers. We will facilitate. We will give facilities. I am sorry to say that market functioned for a couple of months, and one fine morning it vanished, because no farmer is having time to sell with taraju and devote time whole day in sale of their agricultural produce. So they should be taught. As a farmer, you are producing. When you are entering in the market, become trader. See the trader, how much time he is devoting, how much money he is putting. Why? To earn something. If you want to earn something, means you have to devote time. You either employ somebody or have a group, farmers group, some employee in that group, in the form of company or other organization, cooperative. They should take the responsibility of sale of the produce. Even they can procure inputs, etc., at lesser price when they are together. So this is the motto behind that. And problem is not one. There are so many other issues in marketing. And we have, as a government employee or research institution organization, I must thank Professor Jirli that at least we are discussing all these issues with open mind. That not only production, now gone are the days. मैं तो ये कहता हूँ ना कि पहले दुल्हन का ख्याल किया गया. We produced, दूल्हे को भूल गए, marketing को भूल गए. Now we are realizing, when we are producing means you first see the market, what is the demand, what is the consumer asking. When we are talking of processing pizza और burger और क्या बोलते हैं वो सब जो चल रहा है अभी, quick food, in that we have to educate farmer. Change yourself. सिर्फ चावल दाल से काम नहीं चलेगा. Go for high value crops, organic crops, alternate high value produce. Subsidiary of occupations like livestock products, livestock, you raise that. Then only we can achieve the, you see, dream of our Prime Minister that doubling the farmers' income by 22. Simply producing cereal and pulses will not do. We have to diversify our activity and educate farmer in all spheres and intricacies of marketing. And this forum which we are discussing is very good. We can discuss it. And at grassroots level, whoever is coming in our contact, we can disseminate this knowledge. We can go to the farmer. We can convince them that it is not necessary that you produce in bulk. You produce in a smaller quantity, but a good quality food. Seeing, if you treat yourself as a consumer, what quality you need, accordingly you maintain your produce and sell in the market. And market authorities should be vigilant that no trader, no other commission agent exploit the farmer. There should be standardized auction of the produce as per level put by the grader or assessor of the Mandi Samiti or whoever is the channel. They have to offer the price according to the quality.
Sir, we
Thank
have
you, sir.
Dr. Anil Kumar Sahu.
Yeah, welcome.
He is asking that the maximum loss happened under the for the horticultural produce. Okay, so what are the latest intervention or development by any organization till date to reduce the post-harvest loss at minimal level?
Sir, it requires a study like, there are so many studies, but I will not give rational reply of this because it depends upon commodity to commodity. CFED has done studies which I have shown in my slide that commodity-wise different percentages of wastages are there, and that too at different stages of marketing. You see, at the time of harvesting, which type of harvesting equipment is used, whether it is manual, by mechanical, what is the optimum time of harvest, how he is harvesting, how he is bringing the produce to the threshing floor, at threshing floor what he is using for threshing of the produce, and from there how he is processing and packing the produce. So at each and every stage there is wastages. And in DMI, during 1972, if I am not wrong, there was marketable surplus and post-harvest losses estimation of some around 20 commodities was there. And there was, you see, eye-opening study that at different stages, lot of wastages are there at different stages in different food items depending upon their nature and content. So it requires continuous study, and accordingly we have to develop standards and infrastructure so that these type of if equipment is required, that type of equipment is should be provided at threshing floor. If thresher is required, suitable threshing material, threshing equipment is required. So latest, if you want that, what is the percent reduction in post-harvest losses, I may not be in a position to tell you, but you can see that if proper infrastructure is developed, definitely it is going to help in reducing the post-harvest damages of different commodities. You can even experiment at your farm. Universities are doing this study, that if by manual how much wastages are there, if you are using mechanical things, how much is protected. So accordingly comparative analysis can be done, but ready-made data I don't have with me, I'm sorry.